Room 13. By silent screams. They told me it was just a psychological endurance test. 7 days. In a controlled environment. High payout. Nothing I couldn't handle, or so I thought. I was broke. Student loans, maxed out credit cards, rent piling up, I was desperate. So when I found the listing buried in a shady-looking forum under experimental research opportunities, I didn't hesitate. Spend 7 nights in a monitored location, $20,000 upon completion. No contact with the outside world. Do not attempt to leave early. They flew me out to the middle of nowhere. A small, unnamed town somewhere in New England, I'm not even sure which state. The car ride from the airport took 2 hours through fog-covered roads and dense pine forests. Eventually, we arrived at what looked like an abandoned 19th-century hotel, 5 stories tall, worn out by time, but strangely intact. The sign simply read, "The Belgrave House." There was no staff. Just a tall man in a black coat and surgical mask who handed me a clipboard. "You'll have the run of the place. Food will be delivered through the service lift. Don't leave. Don't open any locked doors. Most importantly, do not attempt to enter room 13. I remember laughing at that part. I even asked him, half-jokingly, "Is this like a haunted house thing?" He didn't smile. "We'll be watching." And with that, he left. I was alone. The first night was uneventful, aside from the quiet. The building groaned like something half asleep. The silence felt thick, like it was pressing against my eardrums. Still, I had my books, my phone, no signal, and a few downloaded shows. The room I stayed in was numbered 209, faded wallpaper, a massive canopy bed, and a view of black woods through warped windows. On the second floor, I walked the halls. Everything creaked under my feet, and the temperature dipped with every step. I passed room 213, room 215, but no room 213. And no room 13. Out of curiosity, I started counting the doors. They went from 11 to 15. Clean skip. Number 13. That's when I realized something weird. The numbers added up to 13 doors per floor, always. 12 doors. 1 missing. On the third night, I woke up at 3:03 a.m. to a soft scratching noise in the hallway. It was slow, rhythmic. Like nails dragging across wood. I pulled open the door, but the hallway was empty. Yet the sound continued. I followed it. It led me to a wall between rooms 211 and 215. Just a blank section of wall, except. I swear the wallpaper looked stretched, like there was a seam. I pressed my palm against it. It was warm. Slightly vibrating. I put my ear to it and heard breathing. I didn't sleep the rest of the night. Day 4. The mirrors started acting strange. First, I'd catch glimpses of movement, someone walking behind me when no one was there. Later, I stared into the bathroom mirror and realized something horrifying. My reflection blinked, before I did. Then it smiled. I didn't. I smashed the mirror. On the 5th day, I stopped trying to convince myself this was all part of the experiment. I followed a hunch. Measured every hallway. Counted the spacing. The floor plan didn't match. There was a room hidden behind the panel where I heard the breathing. I tore back the wallpaper. Beneath it, a door. No knob. Painted black. Carved into the surface were the words. Room 13. And something else, etched like it was scratched by a fingernail. Let me out. That night I dreamed of a girl. Pale. Hair matted with mud. She sat cross-legged in the center of a room lit by dozens of candles, whispering numbers over and over. 303, 303. When I asked who she was, she looked at me and said, "You opened it." I woke up with blood on my fingertips. My fingernails were cracked. The wall where room 13 was. The wallpaper was shredded. Like I had been digging. On the 6th night, I found the door open. No one had keys. I didn't open it. Inside was darkness. Not the absence of light, something thicker than dark. Heavy. Almost fluid. Something moved inside. I saw it in flashes, bent limbs, too many joints, a head cocked at a sick angle. It whispered my name. Not aloud. In my head. The front doors wouldn't open. Every window now showed endless blackness, no trees, no stars. Just void. The building had shifted. There was no signal, no contact, not even food. The cameras I thought were watching me. Broken. Rusted. Had they ever worked? The building had gone silent, except for one sound. A heartbeat. Mine. And another. Not mine. Coming from room 13. On the 7th night, I stepped into the room. I don't know why. Maybe I had no choice anymore. Inside was the girl from my dreams. No, not a girl. A husk. A shell of someone who had stayed here too long. They never intended to let you go, she said. The building feeds on identity. On memory. I looked around. The walls were covered in handprints. Some big. Some child-sized. Some mine. Part 10, I'm still here. I don't remember my name anymore. I try to recall it every morning, but all I get is static. I look in the mirror, and sometimes the man blinks first. Sometimes, he doesn't blink at all. You might be watching this, hearing this, thinking it's just a story. Something made up. But if someone offers you a quick payout to stay alone in an old building, don't. Because even if you make it out, something else might come back instead.